Good morning. This is Dr. Turner for Fundamental Mathematics. Today we're going to be covering 1.2, which is looking at place value. Specifically, we are concerned with place value when we are dealing with math or science, particularly as we get into the high school level math and science classes, because we want to be specific and accurate to a certain place value. So some textbooks will ask you to round to 2 decimal places. Some textbooks might ask you to round to 3 decimal places, depending on the coursework. So we're going to look at what number is assigned with each place in a number line, including a decimal. And then also we'll be asked to round to a certain place value. So those are our 2 objectives for this assignment. So we'll go ahead and get started. So first, and this is something that's covered fairly early on in your math coursework, but if it's been a while or you need a little bit of review, that's okay too. So looking at a number, you start out going from right to left. So if you have just a whole number, that is your ones place. From your ones place, as you're going to the left, then it'll increase in value. So you have your ones place, you have your tens place, you have your hundreds place, your thousands place, and it'll continue to increase from there. Most students are okay with that. So in terms of whole numbers, most students have mastered that concept by now. Now, when we go and look at a part of a number, a fraction or a decimal, that's when students start getting a little bit thrown off. So if you have one place after the decimal, that is the tenths place. So it is 1/10 because 10 parts will make up a whole number. So you're taking one whole number, you're breaking it up into 10 pieces. So that is the tenths place. And if you continue to go to the right of the decimal, then after that you have the hundredths place because you're breaking up a whole number into 100 places or 100 pieces. So that is the hundredths place. And if you continue to go down, then after that, it would be the thousandths place because you're breaking up a whole number into 1,000 pieces or parts. And you can continue to go from left to right. Half of this assignment is asking you to be able to identify what place is a given value in. And then the other thing you're going to be asked to do in this assignment is to round to a specific place. So let's say I have something like, and I apologize, my pen's a little on the fritz today, but let's say I have 4,678.25. So a question on this assignment might ask you, well, what number is in the tenths place? So looking at this diagram, I'm looking at the numbers 4, 6, 7, 8, 2, 5. And in this case, the 2 is in the tenths place. Might ask you, what number is in the hundreds place? 4, 6, 7, 8, 2, 5, looking at this diagram. 6 is in the hundreds place. Might ask you what number is in the ones place. In this case, it is 8. Might ask you what number is in the 100ths place. In this case, it is 5. So half of your assignment is going to look like that. Just tell me what number is in the given place. The other half of your assignment is going to ask you to round to a certain place value. So let's say I start with something like 478 or 428.57. So given a decimal value, and this will be true anytime you're calculating something or anytime you're asked to evaluate an expression, you'll be given a value and you'll be given a certain place to round it to. So let's say, for example, that the directions say to round to the nearest tenths place. So if I'm asked to round to the tenths place, you are looking at the number you're asked to round to. In this case, it's 5. And so what you do is you look at the number that is adjacent to the right of that place value. So I have a 5. I'm looking at the 7. So one of the idioms that are taught typically when you're talking about rounding is if the number next door is 5 or more, the circled number adds 1 more. So whatever place value I'm rounding to, in this case to the tenths place, if the number next to it, in this case 7, if that number is 5 or more, then you're going to round up. If that number is 4 or lower, then it's going to stay the same. So looking here, obviously 7 is higher than 5. So if I was asked to round to the tenths place, this would then become 428.6. Again, directions will specify what you're asked to round to. So I could have something like 147.91847. Let's say in this example, I was asked to round to the nearest whole number. So in this case, I want to round to the ones place. If I'm asked to round to the nearest whole number, I'm rounding to the ones place. And you can circle and highlight as necessary, whatever helps. But in this case, again, if the number next door is 5 or more, the circled number adds 1 more. So because this is 147.9, the 0.9 would round up my number, in which case, rounding to the nearest whole number, this is going to be 148. So those are the 2 topics you're asked to cover in this assignment: identifying place value and also rounding. If you have any questions, please reach out to me during office hours. Otherwise, have a good day, and I will talk to you soon.